This is DW News live from Berlin. US lawmakers released Donald Trump's tax returns. The documents give details of the former president's financial affairs. He fought for years to keep them secret. Our Washington correspondent, we will go to a political analyst to find out more about that. And for more, let's bring in Peter Mathews, professor of political science and political analyst. He's joining us from Long Beach in Florida. Good to have you with us. Let's talk about the content of these documents first of all. What have we actually learned from them?
We've learned that Donald Trump paid very little taxes while making millions of dollars in profits. And he did it through writing off losses, which some were questionable, the write-offs, as well as claiming that, he went bankrupt a few times too. But in this case, it was basically trying to get away with loopholes, legal loopholes, and some that were questionable, and being able to write off a lot of income. As you mentioned, zero income tax that he paid in 2020, and $750 in 2 years during his presidency. Just $750, that's a pittance. So that's what it was all about, and this investigative questions that are going on right now. And some have called this Watergate on steroids. You mentioned President Nixon. Watergate on steroids is what we have right now with all of these scandals that the President Trump has been going through, and this is the latest one released.
But is there anything in those documents that would tell us why he was so keen on keeping them secret?
One thing is it shows that he was not a great business person or businessman. He lost a lot of money during his time. The Trump University fiasco, he did have to settle that with $25 million to the students that he defrauded. And in the end, they settled out of court. But that means he wrote that off. He wrote that money off in taxes. So to show that he wasn't a great business person. Also, the point is that he paid very little taxes, 3% income tax in 2018 and 2017, I believe it was. 3%, 4% while he was making millions of dollars or hundreds of thousands. And that's a lot less taxes than most middle-class Americans pay, at least 20 or 25% in federal taxes. And that's why they feel, a lot of people are very concerned and upset about this.
Right. Do you think this will have any impact on his political future?
It very well could. I would say that his own supporters are very diehard and very committed to him. And they're still not a majority of the country. They're about half the population of the Republican Party, but he could win the primary elections if he runs again. He said he's going to run. He could win the primary, but he'll probably lose the general. His supporters won't leave him in the primaries, even despite what we just found out with his tax returns. But it'll also galvanize some of the hardworking, working-class Democratic voters to vote, because they'll be very resentful of the fact that he paid so little taxes while they had to pay a lot more.
All right, Peter Mathews there, professor of political science and political analyst, joining us from Long Beach in Florida. Thank you so much for your time.
California, thank you.
Okay.